Folks, we are continuing our mashup of Compas on the NFL beat and Rapid Fire. And now we are talking AFC. Folks, the AFC is loaded on paper right now. The AFC looks like it is loaded. It is locked, loaded, and ready to show out. Somebody who's not loaded right now is Gilbert Manzano, maybe over the weekend, but not right now. Gilbert, let's talk a little AFC East. This is a fun division, Gilbert. This is and I've seen different people have the Jets, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Bills winning the division. Each team, somebody has somebody different from each team in this division winning. This is going to be a tough division, but let's start off with the AFC East, Gilbert. The New York Jets. Will Aaron Rodgers, discount double check, end the Super Bowl drought? We're starting off with a banger.
Yeah, first of all, Fernando, doing a podcast from the comfort of my couch, I really wanted to be
I don't think you're going back to a desk chair.
I was going to say, it's going to have a six-pack or a tall boy or something. I didn't do it. I want to be professional here, but I was tempted. I will say that. Just like the Jets were very tempted. Again, Aaron Rodgers has been all offseason trying to make a trade happen with the Packers. They got the deal done, and now we get to see Rodgers, old man Rodgers, in these terrible Jets uniforms that we're all making fun of. You know, he doesn't look great in the uniform. But all the reports, because they reported early to training camp because it's the Hall of Fame game, right? Browns and Jets, they reported it last week. So we're all seeing the Garrett Wilson to Aaron Rodgers connection. And, you know, again, to kind of toot my own horn, at SI, we had to pick our dark horse contender for Offensive Player of the Year. And I chose Garrett Wilson. I know it's year 2 for Garrett Wilson, but he has Aaron Rodgers. If that connection is lethal on point, I think they have a strong chance, but it is a loaded division. It's a loaded conference. I don't know if Rodgers will end the drought because you still have, even in the division, Bills, you have the Dolphins, you have the Chargers, you have the Chiefs, you have the Jaguars, you have the Ravens, you have the Bengals. The list goes on and on. So I'm going to say no, but I think Rodgers will get them pretty close, especially with the connection that Garrett Wilson already getting comparisons to Devontae Adams.
It was Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson, then Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Now Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson loading. Interesting. Gilbert, will tumbling Tua prove to be a franchise quarterback for the Miami Dolphins?
I want to believe in Tua, and he was fun to watch a year ago. Like I was surprised he made it work. I know he doesn't have the strongest arm to utilize Jalen Waddle, the Penguin, and Tyreek Hill, but they made it work because you know who's calling the plays? Mike McDaniel, and it's kind of like the 49ers. We just give the guys the ball and you make it work. But that can't even be the thing for Tua because he can't even stay healthy. If you stay healthy and you just do what you got to do as a quarterback, I think that's enough to be a franchise quarterback. You might not be in the realm of Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert, but you could be maybe a better version of Kirk Cousins, and that kind of gets you in the playoffs every now and then, right? But if you can't stay healthy, you're not a franchise quarterback. You can't be counted on. So you make it to training camp, you make it through the season, it goes a long way in believing. And Fernando, one of the biggest things with Tua, we're talking about Herbert and Burrow. Like we're watching for the contracts. Nobody's paying attention for Tua because he hasn't deserved that contract this early or this soon in his career.
Not if you ask Miami Dolphins fans. They believe it. You better be careful with that one. Gilbert, can Bill O'Brien fix Mac Jones? Macaroni Jones.
Yeah.
Mac Daddy Jones.
Bill Belichick, Dan Diego's boy, was messing around last year. He thought he was so good that he could just get whatever coach, like a Joe Judge or a Matt Patricia, to go do offense stuff and you'll figure it out. It did not work. It blew up in their face, but he got it right. He got Bill O'Brien, who doesn't get a lot of credit for what he did in Houston as a coach. As a GM, he was terrible. We all kind of forgot about the coaching side. Did a good job with Bryce Young in Alabama. So we'll see what he does with Mac Jones, but I'm not really a big believer in Mac Jones. He might be kind of the Ryan Tannehill kind of quarterback, Andy Dalton. I think Kirk Cousins might be better as a career than
I would have loved to have seen him in Kyle Shanahan's offense. That would have been
that would have been enough, right? Like it's like the Brock Purdy. But we'll see what Bill O'Brien does. And I don't know about the weapons overall. I know the Ramondre Stevenson, the running back, is pretty good, but it's a little weak there. I wish they had D-Hop. Would have been nice, but overall the Patriots offense is a little suspect.
Did you hear about Bill Belichick's seat? What happened to it the other day? It started catching on fire. You better be careful out there.
He's probably as brown as I am right now because he's been in the heat.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Gilbert, did the Bills Super Bowl window officially close?
I don't know. Like I want to like the Bills, but I'm over them. They're like stale chips out there.
Yeah,
Like some good chips, and you want to keep eating them, but after a while, it's like okay, I'm done with you. So I don't know. Like you mentioned, like we mentioned on the NFC show of Rapid Fire here for training camp. One question to ask. We talked about Aaron Donald. I don't know how that happened, but that would cook. That would go a long way helping out. So I think it's still open, but with the Stephon Diggs dilemma, I feel like it's kind of closing pretty fast on them. So I wish I had a better answer, but I'm just over the Bills. Like do something eventually or get out of my life, right?
I feel you. Gilbert, to the north, the AFC North.
This one's mine. I will ask you the questions here, Fernando. So it's a very good division. It might be the best in football, but you can answer that if you want. But let's start with the Bengals. Joe Burrow there. Can the Bengals defense step up and match? Sorry, Fernando, I'm terrible. The offense, there you go, because the offense is really good.
I don't know about it. They lost a lot of leadership on that. They lost some leadership in the safety position. The cornerback position has been a little bit spotty, especially against the Chiefs. I thought that secondary got exposed a little bit. I know Eli Apple likes talking a lot, but I think that I think their defense is going to be kind of not their downfall, but I think they're not going to be as good as they have been in years past. And that's the thing. Now I think the Bengals need to start working on that defense. I know they worked on their offensive line. They've kind of been making it and building it, but I think they need to start working on that defense because I don't think that defense is up to par, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, they lost Jesse Bates, Von Bell. They got younger on defense, but they drafted guys. We'll see if those guys that got drafted will do anything. But let's move on to the Ravens because they have a new OC. What will the offense look like with Tom Monken running the show there for Baltimore?
Man, he was at Georgia. Now he's with the Ravens. I just don't know because, I mean, they have all the reports are that Trey Flowers has been the best receiver in that camp, no matter who, or not camp, but like in minicamp and everything.
And not Trey Flowers, Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers, sorry. Oh my God, why did I say Trey Flowers? Zay Flowers, my bad. Zay Flowers supposedly been the best receiver, but is that really like, what is that saying about OBJ? Like, I'm really questioning OBJ. Remember, he waited a long time. He didn't come back last season. He's now come back this season, a year off. Can he be the same OBJ? I don't know. Then you look at Bateman. Will Bateman be able to kind of – will he be able to – he had a decent season last year. Will he be able to get better? Question marks there as well. So – I don't know what their offense is really going to look like. I know they just added Melvin Gordon to their defense.
Your boy.
Yeah, I know. And I know that J.K. Dobbins has had some injuries. I know that they've had injuries at the running back position. But can Lamar, now that he got the back, can he stay healthy? There's a lot of – I know people really like the Ravens, but I think there's a lot of questions about their offense. And especially their offensive line, too. Can their offensive line – continue to be as good as it was before Lamar got hurt last season?
Yeah, they lost Ben Powers, one of the cool names in the NFL on the offensive line. And can Ronnie Stanley be healthy?
He's been hurt.
He's always hurt. But yeah, I'm one of those people that wants to like the Ravens, but again, a lot of question marks. But let's move on.
Ronnie Stanley reminds me of the dude from the Cowboys, Tyron Smith.
Yeah. Really good when they're healthy, but always
really great. But they miss. They're gonna miss 5 or 6 games during the season.
Yeah. Who doesn't miss? Mike Tomlin always gets his team, at least 500 and in contention for a playoff spot. I know they didn't make the playoff last year, but the big question here for them: can Kenny Pickett be the guy? Because I'm kind of on the fence for this guy.
I'm really on the fence with him just because and the problem is that we saw what Big Ben did. He put that team on his back numerous times. Kenny Pickett, he has some good receivers. He has Najee Harris. The offensive line is still, I think, getting built. That defense is really good, but it's going to be on Kenny Pickett this year, and I just don't know if he's that guy yet. I know that they're excited about him, but he's going to need to take that next step if they're going to succeed this season. So this camp is going to be very important for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, if Kenny Pickett does something with George Pickens, we need a nickname for those guys. Pickens. I can't even care.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, whatever. But let's move on. Speaking of another quarterback, this was for different reasons. Deshaun Watson has been the guy before in Houston. Whatever that was with Cleveland for 6 games, that was not a franchise quarterback. He needs to figure it out. There's a lot going on here upstairs. But which Deshaun
blaming
Watson,
the media.
Yeah.
Still blaming the media.
But he did mention that his confidence was a little different last year. So maybe he'll be better, but I don't know. But which Deshaun Watson is a Browns QB this year?
Well, I saw that video where he's just walking up and he throws it and he hit the net and everybody's like, "Oh my God, look at this!" And I'm like, "Dude, he's like 5 feet away from it. Like, get out of here." I want to like the Cleveland Browns this year, but I wonder. I know they have Amari Cooper. If they would have added DeAndre Hopkins, I think they would have been a lot more interesting. Just because you get him and then back, they're not going to have Kareem Hunt to spell Nick Chubb. I know at times Nick Chubb, I've seen him before. He kind of gets gassed at times when he kind of gets a lot of carries in games. I was a fantasy owner last year. I saw you've seen the frustration in my eyes, but I don't know. I don't know about Deshaun just because I think the Browns need to get him more weapons. I think they have some, but you need to see more from them. I just don't know about Deshaun. I think this camp is going to be very crucial for him, especially I think he needs to play preseason games just so that he can kind of get more of a feel for what these guys want to do on offense. But Gilbert, oh my bad. You can respond. My bad. I
just wanted to agree that the Browns have a very talented roster, but overall it does depend on Deshaun Watson.
They've really had a talented roster ever since the debacle with like the Johnny Manziel and all that. They've had talent. It's just they haven't been able to put it together, and I just don't know if they can put it together this season, especially with how tough their schedule is and what division they play in. That division's tough. But Gilbert, we now go to the South. Man, this division, I don't know what to make out of this division, but Gilbert, the Titans, are the Titans actually trying to compete?
I don't get the Titans for now because they started releasing guys like Taylor Lewan. It seems like they're about to go. They got a new GM. They're going to shed salary cap, and maybe they might be going to trying to tank for Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams, and Drake May. But then they go and sign DeAndre Hopkins, and I feel like Mike Vrabel's the type of coach is like, I don't do tanking. We need to win, and they're in the kind of a crappy division, AFC South. The Jaguars are really good. We'll get to them in a bit. But it feels like, okay, maybe they're trying to compete. And then, so will it be Will Levis? Will it be Malik Willis? Will it be Ryan Tannehill? And it feels like if they're going to compete, it's going to be the same kind of core, Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. We've seen the movie. Will D-Hop be that much of a difference maker? I don't think so. So if you're going to fall short, might as well be in the tanking train. Choo, for one of those three guys. But they're trying.
Traylon Burks. It's gonna
Traylon Burks.
Burks. It's gonna all rely on him. If he can be explosive, then that's fine. But I was telling Dan and Dago the other day, I'm like, if I was playing the Tennessee Titans, I would double up D-Hop on one side and just stack the box for Derrick Henry because I just don't know where else Ryan Tannehill can go with the football. But I completely see what you're talking about. Gilbert, will the Jaguars become a legit Super Bowl contender, or could they possibly take a step back?
I feel like people have forgotten the Jaguars because they didn't make moves this offseason, but they made a splash move the year before with getting Calvin Ridley in the midseason trade from Atlanta. I think we all forgot about it. So if Calvin Ridley is going back to it, I had to look it up. Like, it's been a minute for him. 2020 was his best year. He had like almost 1,400 yards receiving with a broken foot, apparently, according to him.
Remember, he caught that touchdown pass against the chart. Russell Gage, a trick play. That 50-yard touchdown pass against the Chargers in LA.
Yeah, so it's been a minute for him. But then 2021, he wasn't playing because of mental health reasons. 2022, he was gambling. But if he's that dude again and he's really good, like I think that's what Trevor Lawrence needs, right? Like to go with Christian Kirk.
He's been out for 2 years.
Yeah, because he only played 5 games in 2021 because mental health reasons. And then the gambling, but if you have Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram got re-signed. I got to actually talk a little bit to Doug Peterson in Tahoe. He's a really chill dude, so I want to like the Jaguars, but it's a very loaded, conference. But I'll give you an answer. I think they will be legit Super Bowl contenders, and I think we're going to get a lot of beat reporter tweets in the summer from Lawrence to Calvin Ridley connection.
I think they might regress a little bit.
Ooh, okay.
Remember, they went on that hot streak at the end. Can you replicate that hot streak again? Are you going to be like Fernando was in high school where you get crappy grades the whole semester and then at the end you hurry up, try and get the damn grade and you throw all your work in and, oh, hey, all of a sudden you pulled a B out of your ass? I don't know. So I'm going to be interested. And right away, I think week 2 at the Chiefs come, or week 2 or week 3, the Chiefs come to Jacksonville. That game is going to be key for the Jaguars right there. So I'm going to be interested. I'll be definitely watching that game. Oh yeah, it is week 2 because the Chargers play at 10 a.m. against the Titans, and then the 1 o'clock game is the Chiefs going to the Jaguars. That's going to be interesting, Gilbert. Gilbert, will Anthony Richardson be a bust? I know that you've been driving that bandwagon ever since you saw him at the combine.
Yeah, so I know. I wrote that question that way to kind of get people like, "What are you talking about, bust?" No, I'm not. I don't believe in the bust for Anthony Richardson. I think he's gonna be a stud. He has Shane Steichen. We know his work from Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts and with the Chargers and Justin Herbert. So I think he's in the right system there. If Jonathan Taylor figures it out, can he help out Michael Pittman? Can he help out? I want to say Jelani Woods, the tight end, is a sneaky underrated pick there. So there's some pieces, not the best pieces, but I think Anthony Richardson, his mobility, his vast skill set, rocket arm. If he figures out the accuracy, that's a big issue. But I think they're going to utilize him pretty well, like a Jalen Hurts. But I wouldn't be I know Cam Newton had an all-time rookie season, but I wouldn't be surprised that he kind of plays like Cam Newton. So he would not be a bust. I think he might have a pretty good rookie year.
Gilbert, now keeping up with the same theme, will CJ Stroud be a bust?
Yeah, and even with CJ Stroud, I know maybe he doesn't have the same kind of surroundings because the Houston Texans have been a dumpster fire, but they have a new coach and D'Amico Ryans. I like him. It seems like he's a pretty good leader, but he's more defensive minded. And then I know they got Dalton Schultz to help out, and they also Damian Pierce is a pretty good running back there. So he has some weapons, but I don't think CJ Stroud would be a bust. I think he would show that he was warranted to be a number 2 pick behind Bryce Young. And I'm very eager to see these two quarterbacks. It's not a good division, but these two quarterbacks being rookies, you want to see more of them, so you tend to watch those teams.
Yeah. All right, Gilbert. Now we head to the west side.
This is the last division, right? The AFC West. And
yep.
Fernando, this is for you. I will ask you the question, but I also will give you a bonus question for the Chargers because it's Compas on the LLAB. That's a terrible sound. But B. There you go. Better. But first question for the Chargers: can they stay healthy for once? Because this team in training camp, it's not a good mix.
I'll say that they will stay healthy this time. Why will I say that? Because they're under the radar. Every year, teams pick them to do this, do that, Super Bowl contenders. They're going to dethrone the Chiefs. I think this is the year where they didn't, like you said about the Jaguars, they didn't go out and get anybody spectacular. They got Eric Kendricks, who should help. They only signed 2 free agents. I think the other one was defensive tackle Nick Williams. I think they're going to come out of this healthy. And I do think that you're owed one after all these years of the last time that they were really healthy was 18. And I think in that one, they still missed Joey Bosa for most of the year with that foot injury. But I say this year they come out of this healthy and they're healthy going into the regular season.
All right, Fernando, I kind of lied. I'm going to ask you 2 bonus questions, but I'll get to the third one in a bit. The second one, I keep going back to what Derwin James told you at the golf event, the charity event they had, and some fancy golf course. I forget where it was. But you asked Derwin James, can you give me like an analysis or an assessment of the rookie wide receiver Quentin Johnson from TCU? I want to say number 21 pick overall, right? So, and he just asked you. I mean, you asked him, and he just told you he's that guy. Like he had to look yeah. He's that guy. What else do you want me to say? Like he's really good. So you think we'll find out in training camp Quentin Johnson will be that guy, or to be kind of a slow, he's a rookie, you got to figure it out because you still got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. You got to wait your turn.
No, Gilbert. I think what we've seen before, and I think you've been a part of it, you've seen it before too, that guys kind of, they're attracted to Mike, they're attracted to Keenan, and there's never been that third guy to kind of take the attention away. I think that's what Quentin Johnson's going to do. He took off right away at minicamp. I know it's just minicamp. They're in shorts and everything, but he looked good. He was playing. He was running around. He was doing things. And like I've said before, he would come off the field, go straight to Keenan, go straight to Mike, go straight to Justin, and see what they could do. I think the kid's smart. I think he knows what to do. He kind of plays the receiver position like a basketball player. Like he does the pivot, he moves, he moves his hips in a different way. I think this kid might be something interesting. I went on a radio show the other day, and I was like, you know what? I think he'll be 1,000-yard receiver. And they're like, whoa, really? Whoa. I'm like, I just think with all the distractions with Keenan and Mike, he can be. But they asked me for like a hot take, and that was my hot take, that I think he'll be 1,000-yard receiver. And they're like, whoa. But I I think he'll put up some decent numbers. I think he'll be a very good player for this offense, but I really do think that he's that fast option that they've been looking for. And I think he takes this offense to the next level, especially because Kellen Moore is going to be key with this. If Kellen can exploit him and use the talents that make this kid good, I really think that he should be able to fly this year. And you'll see that hair waving all over the place this season with him, because he could be dynamic if used in the correct way.
Yeah, Fernando, I'm starting to buy the hype too. What Durbin told you, and then what you've been saying.
That's Gilbert in 2020. And that's what I'm writing right now about Quentin. Is that I remember that guy Joey Bosa, Casey Hayward, guys were telling us like, "Hey, watch out!" Like Joey told me, "Hey, number 10, there's something special about that guy." And remember, we didn't see Justin. The one time we saw him, he threw a pick six right to Melvin Ingram. And we didn't really see much of him. And then in that Chiefs game, like I remember he came out, he did a great job. And you're like, oh, wow, I shouldn't have been surprised. That's what guys were telling me back then. Now guys are telling me, hey, Quentin Johnson, watch out for this guy. So I'm going to take the players at their word and I'm going to believe them.
I can't give away everything we're doing in terms of stories at SI, but they asked me who's a dark horse contender for offensive player of the year. And you might like the name that I threw out there, but we'll get there later in the week. And I already probably gave it away, but let's give you one more bonus question. But this one, I'm going to have fun with it, Fernando, because I want you to say yes to this question. And if so, pretend you're in the future. And because we're recording a little early here for report day. Will Justin Herbert have a new contract? And when you say yes, can you break it down for me? And how will this contract look for the Chargers? Because we're going to play it. If it happens during a week, we're going to clip it out. And we're going to get your analysis, and we're going to post it up right away.
So
if it doesn't, then yeah.
I'm forced to say yes.
Yeah,
the thing is, Joe Burrow didn't have one, and he reported. Okay, I'll just say yes to go with your game. I'll say he takes the next step. $53 million a year. I think it'll be some kind of team friendly deal. I think, and that's like kind of like a Patrick Mahomes kind of deal where it does like. Maybe they give him a big signing bonus and or something like that. And the cap, it doesn't affect the cap as much. But I think something like that is going to have it's going to be something close to being kind of a team-friendly deal. But I say he takes the next step and he goes 53 million. I think he's that next stepping stone. But, man, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty, to be honest.
Victor, if it happens, let this clip go. If it doesn't, maybe edit it out. Your call, but we'll get there. Let's move on with the AFC West, the Raiders. The
Raiders.
By the way, I forgot to make a joke in the NFC portion because you were talking about Jimmy G and the 49ers not being able to break up until finally this year.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade for him in the midseason. Like, hey, Brock Purdy got hurt. The Raiders are terrible. Go bring Jimmy G back. But I'm getting a little wild there. But who will Raiders Jimmy G be in 2023?
You have Devontae Adams. You have some good – man, they're talking about Hunter Renfrow possibly getting cut. Like, that to me was surprising to hear that. But I say Jimmy G regressed a little bit. I don't think he'll be as good as he was with the 49ers. I think you're taking a step back with the kind of play caller that you have. Just because – not the play caller. Like, if Josh McDaniels was the OC, I'd be like, damn, you're right there. Like, you're equaling – if maybe even a little bit taking a step above, just because McDaniels has won all those Super Bowls with the Patriots. But the fact that he's not the head coach, or he's the head coach and has to oversee everything, I'm a little worried about that. So I don't see them. I don't see him putting up awesome numbers. I don't see them winning that many games, but I've been wrong before. But I don't know. I'm a little hesitant when it comes to Jimmy G here, just because he's been so comfortable in the Kyle Shanahan system for so long. Josh McDaniels is not Kyle Shanahan. I don't think he's going to dumb it down and do basically like put you. I'm not trying to say that he's not going to put him in the spot to succeed, but I just think it's going to be completely different with the Raiders, especially from things that you hear here and there about the way the Raiders are kind of being run.
Yeah, but at least he passes physical, and that's a good sign for the Raiders and Jimmy G. But let's move on to the Chiefs here. And the Chiefs have me feeling some type of way, but you can watch full Compas on the beat for that because I guess every wide receiver the Chiefs have is going to be a stud for Patrick Mahomes, apparently. And then Kadarius Toney was supposed to be the number one wide receiver, got hurt. We'll see what happens with him.
Gilberto Krillers lives.
No, I was saying
No, I know. No,
there's a lot of hype for him, and I don't know why.
Yeah, you have a lot of questions about him, and rightfully so.
He can't stay healthy, and with the Giants was the same issue. But whatever, this is not my question. But that is the segue here. Can the Chiefs keep plugging any guy like a wide receiver for these weapons to make it work? Like as long as you have Kelsey, Mahomes, and then you have Andy Reid, can you just plug in anybody and they'll be all right?
I mean, to be honest, like I feel like they just because of Andy Reid and the genius that he is, and obviously Patrick Mahomes has the arm to be able to do it. My question is like the plug and play. Can you continue to do that and get away with it? It has to catch up to you at one point. They've played since Patrick Mahomes got there. They've had really long seasons. I think this is the season where it kind of catches up to them a little bit, and maybe they kind of regress just because of that fact that no Juju Smith. I can't believe I'm even putting his name in there, but no Juju Smith-Schuster, no Tyreek Hill, no big name like that. Now it's just Travis Kelce and a couple of other guys. I think that's going to kind of hurt them a little bit this season.
And when Kadarius Toney was healthy, it said a lot that the Chiefs were trying to get DeAndre Hopkins because they know that wide receiver room needs help. So we'll see what happens.
And just because they're saying Kadarius Toney is going to be back for week 1 doesn't mean he could necessarily come back week 1. He could end up trying to, because remember, he re-aggravated something he had surgery on. It could linger for him. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens with him moving forward.
The last one, and I'm glad this team is last because it's team 3, Russell Wilson and the Broncos. What will Sean Payton and Russell Wilson do in 2023? And will they show some kind of partnership in the summertime?
I think halfway through the season, Russell Wilson gets benched. I don't. Everybody, okay, so everybody's believing that Sean Payton's going to magically fix Russell Wilson. They're like, oh, he lost weight. Oh, he did this. That doesn't take away the mistakes and the ghosts that he was seeing. They made some offensive lineman signings. I still don't believe in that offensive line. I don't think that offensive line's gotten better this offseason. The receivers, none of their receivers can stay healthy. Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, those guys do not stay healthy. I just don't believe in their offense. I don't believe in Team 3. And remember, we saw Sean Payton in one situation succeed where he had the continuity with the quarterback for years and years and years and years. This, you're getting plugged into a new system. I remember he didn't want the Broncos job. He wanted another job that was in LA that featured a young quarterback. Here he gets a busted old down Russell Wilson. I don't think it's going to be able to fix it. I think they're going to struggle. That defense is still going to be decent. They're going to be good. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were, but I'm just not believing. I don't believe in Team 3. I believe in Sean. I think Sean Payton will be okay, but I just don't believe in Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I'm with your friend. Like, I feel like it's a forced marriage here. It was more like he was kind of dating the Broncos to see what else will open up, and he got stuck there for whatever reason you want to say. And then they promised him, well, you get to tear down the roster a year from now, make it work with Russell Wilson, and then if it doesn't, tear it down and we'll move on. But I think we're on the same page with the Broncos there. It won't be a good year for Sean Payton, but we are done. That is the AFC.
Well, my bad. I just need to compare this one more. You wanted the prom queen. You were like, damn, she looks good. You ended up with the IT girl. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not liking this Russell Wilson. That it's a very, like you said, it's a forced marriage. I don't like it. So yeah, that's why I'm feeling some like he wanted the prom queen. He couldn't get him. Now he's gonna have to settle for this one. But yeah, no, this has come to an end. Both division or both conferences. Guys, don't forget to check out the NFC version of this. We go through every single team. Make sure you guys check it out. Now we've done the AFC, and don't forget to check out regular Compas on the Beat and everything else on the Compas on the Beat network. Thank you guys so much for checking out this special edition of Compas on the LA Beat, mixed in with rapid fire AFC version.